When people hear a game is made by Bethesda, generally their mind goes to a game like Skyrim or Fallout. For a time, Bethesda was the frontrunner in the RPG genre, and deservedly so in my opinion. The amount of detail and intricate world building in these games are on a whole nother level. That being said, the games aren't exactly user-friendly. They have complex upgrade systems, mountains of dialogue, and tough choices for gamers. All these elements in tandem can inundate new players. But in 2016, Bethesda made a bold choice to remake a cult favorite, Doom. Doom was an extremely successful game that was released back in the 90s. For its time, this game was nothing short of a masterpiece. It had a great soundtrack, engaging gameplay, and horrific atmosphere from what I've read. I've never personally played a Doom game before, so I wanted to give my review and tell you how the game holds up in 2021. I'm Very Berry. If you like this content, maybe like and subscribe, it really does help. So let's jump in. Bethesda's reach in terms of RPGs has been massive. The Fallout and Elder Scrolls series have repeatedly been bestsellers. Usually their games revolve around a complex story-driven narrative. I personally love these kind of games. That being said, I think this type of game can be a harder sell nowadays. With gaming markets being so crowded and people having less time, gaming studios sometimes have to streamline more to stay competitive. I think Bethesda's choice to remake Doom was the perfect decision. Bethesda took the incredible world building of its previous titles and combined it with an interesting story and easy to understand upgrade system. Instead of interacting with the characters for the story, the lore is told passively through codexes and lore tablets. This allows the player more freedom to engage with the parts of the story they like, in my opinion. If you're here for the gameplay, then you can focus on that. And for those who want the story, it's always there for reference. The upgrade system itself is also very straightforward and user-friendly. Instead of having to deal with VATs, specials, perks, constellations and such, you just invest weapon tokens into weapons you like and prayer tokens into overall ammo, health, and armor. Don't be fooled though. Just because things are simpler doesn't mean the studio's attention to detail is lessened. But enough about Bethesda, here are my thoughts about the game. Doom is one hell of a fun ride. You start with limited supplies and no concept of how to play the game, but the game guides you along. The amount of progression you get from the gameplay alone is awesome. You begin to learn the basics, but when you become familiarized with how the game works, you turn into the Doom Slayer. Everything about this game is gratifying. The monstrous sounds of the weapons, the disgusting, incredibly designed enemies, and all the gruesome brutality. But the real crowning jewel is the world of Doom. The attention to detail is baffling. This is by far the prettiest rendition of hell I've ever seen. Huge cliffs, daunting hellscapes, and that place from The Lion King. The sound design and music add to the atmosphere. Whenever you begin a battle with the demons, you hear some epic industrial metal music. All of this, mixed in with a captivating story. You play as the Doom Slayer. You start out with your trusty codex. This is pretty much a compendium of knowledge to familiarize yourself with the game world. This codex logs everything about the game world, so you always have an idea of what's going on in the narrative. You travel to Mars UAC base. This organization is headed by a robot, Samuel Hayden, and a top biochemist, Olivia Pierce. Together they perform occult rituals with the other UAC staff. They made hundreds of brutal sacrifices to gain access to Hell. They use Hell energy to create renewables for Earth because the world's resources are drying up. When the gates of Hell open, a majority of the crew is transformed into demons almost immediately. Prophecy tells of a soul who must climb into Hell and close the bridge between Hell and Earth. You stop Olivia, who's been consumed by the idea of fixing her back. She had issues with her spine that caused immense pain throughout her life. Hell exploits this weakness and turns her into a monster. Now I finally know what Dashi means when he says he's using his brain meats. Samuel, who's been helping you out through this process, betrays you. Then you get stuck in a tether. This concludes the story in the first game. So how does this game hold up in 2021? I'd say this game is even more refined than some modern shooters. The gunplay feels smooth and responsive. The enemies' designs are nuanced and do a good job of keeping you on your toes. I never expected to be doing so much jumping, but hopping from platform to platform while avoiding enemies is a surreal experience. I imagine this is how people felt playing the original Doom. That being said, I do have one complaint about the game, and it's a huge one. This game stole everything from Cooking Mama. In Cooking Mama, you make all kinds of different foods in cute and interactive ways. You can make pizzas, burgers, and soups. Doom is the same game. You don't make pizzas or burgers, sure, but you do make a lot of meat soup. Gotta add some meatballs to my soup.
Wow, even better than Mama.
But in all seriousness, Doom is a blast for anyone who likes over-the-top gory shooters. The gameplay is very refined and addictive to say the least. I'm sure this won't be my last trip through hell. Thanks for watching my review. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts about Doom or Doom Eternal. I plan to play Eternal soon, so keep an eye out for that review as well. Thanks, have a good one.